One of the most common pairings across the world is wine and cheese. But what exactly is it that makes this pairing so unique and so satisfying? On today's episode of Inspire Wine, Maria heads over to Krohns Dairy to get some answers.
Hello, we're at Krohns Cheese Shop here today, and I am with Roger, a master cheesemaker. Roger, tell me what it takes to be a master cheesemaker.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Maria. Being a master cheesemaker is an exclusive program to Wisconsin.
Okay.
Modeled after a European program, very hard to duplicate. Wisconsin has a very rich heritage in cheesemaking, so we go back a lot of years. Our ancestors settled in this part of the country because it reminded them a lot of home over in Europe. The master program is a program that kind of highlights your expertise in the variety of cheese you're making. So it's variety specific. You have to be a licensed Wisconsin cheesemaker for 10 years to get into the program. Once you're 10 years a licensed cheesemaker, it's a 3-year program that includes some classroom work over 3 years, submitting samples of the cheeses you're being certified in, which for me is mozzarella and provolone. And you submit samples for expert grading, and then they send you back your report, and hopefully it's what you hope it is, and most of the time it is, and you keep going. And then after 3 years, you write a final exam that is really pretty intensive. And once you do that, you're a master cheesemaker, and you get to use that through the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board and all the dairy farmers of Wisconsin on your packaging material for marketing purposes.
Wow, that is quite an intensive program.
It is, it is.
Wonderful. Well, why don't we head inside and learn more about the cheese? We're here inside the store now. So tell us a little bit about how cheese is made.
Basically what you're doing is acidifying milk. Milk has a pH of about 6.6, and we're going to drive that pH with most cheeses down in the low to middle 5.3 range. And the bacteria you use to make cheese is selected for the final result you want as far as texture, flavor, characteristics as far as melt or no melt. So we buy the bacteria from a company that makes it, add it to the milk, acidifies the milk, add a rennet, which is a clotting enzyme, a coagulant, to thicken that milk up into like a custard, cut that curd up, and then cook that curd, drain the whey out of it, and then depending on the process, you could press it up into a block of cheese, or in our case where we're making a pasta filata style Italian cheese, we run it through a cooker stretcher and melt and knead and stretch that curd.
Interesting. So what makes a cheddar and a Swiss?
It's again the bacteria that you select to make it, and then also some of the enzymes that you can add to the milk. So cheese is a very natural food. It's all natural enzymes, bacteria, and again you select the right bacteria. So if you're making a Swiss cheese that has the holes or eyes in it, you use what they call a Propioni bacteria that blows a hole in it. If you're making blue cheese, you use a bacteria that's going to grow a mold into that cheese.
Interesting. So there's some similarities. I mean, introducing bacteria into milk for us is introducing yeast into grapes. So
yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Good, thank you. Well, why don't we talk a little bit about pairing? With wine and cheese, you want to pair bodies. So a lighter bodied wine with a lighter bodied cheese, or a bolder bodied wine with a bolder bodied cheese. We're going to do bold with bold, and the wine I'll be pairing is our M, made from the Marquette grape. It's going to be a drier, more full-bodied red, a little more tannins to it. And what cheese will we be pairing that with?
The cheese I think that would pair very well with it would be our hand select super sharp cheddar cheese. Again, bold flavor, just like your wine. Bold flavor, aged 2 to 3 years. And that'll give it its really sharp, nice notes to that cheddar cheese.
Perfect. So we have a bold aged cheddar with a bolder red. So crisper wines pair well with creamier cheeses. The acid in the wine blends really well with the creaminess, and they just create this wonderful flavor together. So we're going to be pairing our Washington Island Rosé, which is a crisper rosé, with some of your creamier cheeses. Tell us about those, Roger.
I'd love to, Maria. We have 3 cheeses right here that are mild yet very creamy. That should pair very well with the Washington Island Rosé. We have our smoked provolone, our fresh cheddar cheese curds, and our whole milk mozzarella. Again, on the mild side, but still very creamy, which should complement the Washington Island Rosé very well.
Perfect. And you know, cheese curds, how wonderful is that? We don't think of that as something to pair with wine, but that's an outstanding pairing.
It is, and everybody loves fresh cheese curds, warm and squeaky. Again, just the right amount of fat there to give you some creaminess, but yet mild enough that you can really pick up the flavor of the Washington Island Rosé.
Perfect, and that's a concept to note too, is you don't want to overpower either one. They
Correct.
need to match.
Absolutely.
And specialty wines tend to pair really well with what I call funky cheeses, cheeses that have some bolder, special flavors. What we'll be pairing today is our ice wine, which is actually made from grapes frozen on the vine, very full-bodied and flavorful, with one of your specialty cheeses. Tell us about that, Roger.
Yes, right here we have medium-aged Caraway cheddar cheese. And again, caraway is one of those ingredients that either a lot of people don't like it or do like it, but people that like caraway usually really like it. It gives you a little bit of a nutty, sweet flavor to that cheese. And again, because it's a cheddar cheese, the longer you age that, the sharper it'll get. So if we take that cheese out a year, 2 years, it'll get sharper and even more robust. But that's the beauty of cheddar cheese, is that if you like it mild, you don't age it and you eat it more on the young side.
I love that. I mean, caraway is something maybe people don't think of eating, but it's an amazing flavor, and then you pair it with a wine that's full-bodied, it really blends well together.
Absolutely.
So before we head out, let's try one of these pairings.
I'd love to.
Let's try the Washington Island with cheese curds.
Excellent choice.
I love that. Talk about a local tradition. Delicious.
Very good. Very good.
So now you know why wine and cheese pair so well together. We want to thank Roger and everyone over at Krohns Dairy for letting us visit with them and learn the answers to these questions. We want to thank you for watching this episode of Inspire Wine. If you like this episode, I invite you to do one of the 4 following things. Subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, share this video, or follow us on social media. So I'm Winemaker Steve, and until next time, cheers.